The next postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. OG Anunoby, another big game with 24 points. Did not play down the stretch. We don't know why. Jalen Brunson at 26. And the Knicks pull it out down the stretch. Now lead the series 2 games to none. 108-102 the final. Fans outside braving the rain. But still excited as the Knicks win. No Joel Embiid for the Sixers. Bill Pidto along with Wally Szczerbiak from our Delta Embassy studios. 25 lead changes, most in a playoff game in 13 years. No Joel Embiid. It seemed like every big man that played was in foul trouble. But the key down the stretch, Knicks outscore the Sixers 12-3 in the final 6:52. And that's your ball game.
Yep. The key to the game for me was Mikal Bridges' defense on Tyrese Maxey. In that fourth quarter, Maxey couldn't get loose. He couldn't get going. He's their closer. He's their guy. With no Embiid, when the game tightens up in that fourth quarter, you need your all-star and your superstar to make plays, and Maxey couldn't create much for himself. Couldn't create much good looks for his teammates. His teammates missed some open shots down the stretch in the fourth quarter, but the bottom line is the Knicks defense locked down in that fourth quarter, and that's how they took over this game and won this game and got to a 2-0 lead in the series, which is a nice lead to take care of home court.
All right, big plays, Wally, presented by Four Leaf Federal Credit Union. Knicks trailed by 1 after the third quarter, but you had Captain Clutch coming up big, as always, in the clutch, and the Knicks were able to pull it out down the stretch to win this game.
Yeah, and how good has OG Anunoby been? The versatility that he can play with. He played the 5 for a lot of minutes in today's game. There's a big 3. That was one of the last buckets that Philly was able to generate in the fourth quarter. The Oubre gave them the 3-point lead, but then right back at you, Josh Hart with a gutsy 3, like Leg said on the broadcast, tied the game up. And then the Knicks got multiple stops, and then Jalen Brunson got to gauge Barlow. Barlow switched on to Brunson a lot late in this game. It took Jalen a little bit to kind of get his shots over his length. And how about that one? Mikal Bridges, what a performance on both ends of the floor. A guy doesn't miss. In the last 3-4 games in the playoffs, you mentioned it, he's shooting, 26 for 35?
Last 3 games, Bridges 26 for 35.
Unbelievable. Offensively, he's been outstanding, but his defense has even been better. To lock down a guy like Maxey like that in the second half. Maxey had 19 points in the first half. He struggled to get going in the second half. Yes, it's a team effort, but he's the length and the guy that really bothers a guy like Maxey. His defense was so valuable in this game. It's going to be very valuable in this series.
Bridges, 9 of 13 shooting, 6 assists, had 18 points. Across the street we go, and let's bring in Alan Hahn. Alan, what do you have?
All right, thank you, Bill. Cat, this game felt like a grind.
Yeah.
Before we get into X's and O's, talk about the mental battle this game was for your team.
I mean, it was a battle for sure. We know that what that team brings to the court every single night, and the way our games have been going, I think this was a great test to see if we could play in a close game like this against a really good team. So, shout out to our team and everybody just sticking together and just finding a way to win.
When you heard that the Sixers would be without Joel Embiid, did that change your approach at all to this game?
They're a great team. They're a great team. So we knew we had to be executing at a high level. We had to be disciplined, and we had to do, like I said, we had to take care of the job. So, when we got the best fans in the world supporting us and bringing that energy, we know we could come out here and win at any time.
All right, well, now this series ships to Philadelphia, where a lot of your fans do end up going to some of those games. Yeah. What is the approach now that you're up 2-0 in the series?
Same approach as it's been for every game. Go out there and find a way to win. Keep bringing wins over here to New York and keep making our fans proud.
All right, thanks very much for your time. Congratulations on the win. Back to you, Bill.
Thanks. So, Cat had all kinds of foul trouble. Wally ended up playing only 27 minutes, and yet went for 20, 10, and 7 more assists.
Yeah, and on 6 for 8 shooting, too. He's a dominant force. He has an advantage as far as matchup goes whenever he wants, and he took advantage of that matchup big time. The fouls, it's tough for him guarding guys like Maxey coming off those screens. He got caught with a couple ticky-tack fouls, but overall, he is completely engaged. You can see the mental strength that he's bringing to his game and to the team. I mean, he feels like He's a co-captain along with Jalen Brunson, the way he's performing in these playoffs, the way he's conducting himself like a professional. I love what he said after Game 1. We have to expect that Philly is going to come after us in Game 2. It's only one game. We got to look ahead. We got to keep banking wins. That was a real workmanlike professional win by this New York Knicks team, because this Philly team, they brought it in Game 2. And they got to be looking at themselves, thinking to themselves, what else can we do? We played a really good, high-quality basketball game, still couldn't get a win against the New York Knicks. We got to figure out a way now to go back to Philly and defend our home court.
What's your take on what we saw in terms of trying to defend Karl Anthony Towns with no Joel Embiid? It seemed like Dominic Barlow was effective. Yep. Bona, before the foul trouble, did some good things. Andre Drummond, before he had the foul trouble, seemed like he was somewhat effective.
Paul George at the end of the game.
Right.
They're going to try to muck up this game, go small. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get 5 shooters out there. Dominic Barlow, you can switch him onto Jalen Brunson. He did a pretty good job. He's going to be a pretty effective piece if there is no Joel Embiid going through the rest of the series. The key with Joel Embiid is, can he get healthy enough to play defensively? Because when he's out there on the floor, he's a huge liability because he can't move. So the Knicks can get whatever they want on the offensive end of the floor when he's out there. This Philly team is much tougher to score on when Embiid is not on the floor. Obviously, there's not as good offensively because Embiid's an offensive powerhouse and a force who knows how to get fouled and knows how to score. But defensively, they gave the Knicks a lot more problems because of their ability to switch. They had more athletic defenders, more active defenders. So we'll see where this series goes. There's a lot of twists and turns.
Now, we'll see about OG Anunoby. Again, missed the final 2 minutes and change, went into the locker room. We don't know why. But before that, another great game for him with 24 points. He's tonight's New York State Lottery power player. And let's hope, obviously, that there's nothing significant physically for Anunoby. But he was fantastic again, Wally.
Fantastic. And he's like a queen on a chessboard in these playoffs. The way that you can play him in so many different ways and so many different positions. He can guard anyone out there on the floor, and he allows just Jalen Brunson to do and get to his spots and make plays. And this is a guy who's knocking down the three like he's done his whole career. But I think he's thrown a lot more to his game because he's being involved in the offense. Look at the field goal percentage. That's high because of the cuts, because of Karl Anthony Towns finding him for easy dunks, layups, stuff in transition, field goals through the roof.
Now, here's a question. If Jalen Brunson's running the offense, how come Anunoby is not getting the opportunities he has gotten recently with a lot of the offense going through Towns?
Because normally when Jalen's running it, it's high pick and roll, and OG's job is to space the floor because he's a great corner three-point shooter. So you put your floor spacers and your shooters in the corners like Bridges and Anunoby, and they're not roaming around as much, and you're just letting Towns and Brunson play two-man game. When you put the ball in Towns' hand, then Brunson becomes a cutter that you have to respect coming off those cuts. As a result, help is coming from all over the place, and OG Anunoby is free to roam all over the floor. He's also benefited from any type of steal or turnover. He's quick in transition to finish. And the Knicks look for him on the fast break. He's gotten a bunch of highlight finishes on the fast break. So that helps you get into rhythm as a player when you see the ball go through the basket, and then those threes just start to flow in rhythm.
Shooting over 60% from two.
Great.
And almost 60% from three.
Awesome.
Alex Monaco at the watch party, braving the rain across the street. Fails, Alex can conduct the orchestra. Fans filing out. Yeah, a lot to celebrate. Knicks up 2 games to none as they win tonight by 6. Welcome back, everyone. Rain or shine, Knicks fans getting involved and happy post-game despite the rain across the street as the Knicks win Game 2, 108-102. Biggest lead again for either team was only 7.
Yeah.
Back and forth, foul trouble, not a lot of flow. But when the game was on the line, guess who? Jalen Brunson. 99 all, 2 buckets, and then later in the sequence, late in the fourth quarter, a couple free throws. Knicks prevail by 6.
Yeah, and I thought Mike Brown did a good job using the timeouts because you could see Philly was trying to trap and get some turnovers, and then Jalen was really, really smart in controlling the tempo. And you have that guy at the end of games who's going to generate good looks at the basket. He's going to make tough shots against the set defense. He was Clutch Player of the Year for a reason. You saw him getting the job done and doing a great job like he always does. But he needs his teammates, and himself included, to get stops in order for those big buckets in the fourth quarter to lead to a victory. The defense was stellar for the Knicks, and then Brunson closed the door with some big-time moves. I mean, these are not easy shots. Barlow's an elite, long, athletic defender. Look at that floater. His footwork is just so precise. It's just so impressive how he's drilled that footwork over and over to create that little bit of space so he can float it over a bigger defender. Just a clinic that he puts on in the fourth quarter, and a very impressive performance again.
If you're Philly, what are you thinking about now? No Embiid.
You're scratching.
But you were more competitive without Embiid. You're going home down 2-0.
Yep.
But you gave the Knicks all they could handle tonight without, your star center.
Yeah. And you played very well. Paul George is playing some of his best basketball I've seen him play in the last couple of years. This is why you get veterans in the NBA playoffs on your roster, because they always show up when the games matter and the games mean something. They know how to rise to the occasion. So Paul George is going to be ready. VJ Edgecombe as a rookie, I mean, he continues to make big shots, big plays. I think the key to the series so far has been able to neutralize Maxey. Maxey has always caused the Knicks so many problems off those pick and rolls, but the Knicks have been able to really control him. They are locked in on him. They can switch at times. They can show at times, and they have not let him get going. And that is a huge part to why the Knicks are 2-0. They have to continue to keep him under wraps and make sure he doesn't have big games.
Maxey, 6 turnovers.
Yep.
Shot only 9 of 23.
Exactly.
We mentioned OG Anunoby missed the last couple of minutes and change. Here is what happened. We have the sequence as you watch. Goes up there for the dunk, and it's really hard to tell what's going on. Watch it again. It
happened on the cut.
The previous sequence is where...
No, it's on that play when he cut down the basket down the middle of the floor. He kind of came up limp, grabbed one of his hamstrings. And then when he goes back running on defense, he points to the bench, and he kind of just says, "Get me out." And you could see he was kind of limping and hobbling. Now, hopefully it's not a really terrible injury, and it's something that he can recover from. But obviously it's tough timing because he's been playing some really good basketball. We saw this in the playoffs a couple of years ago where he did that hamstring in, and it really cost the Knicks because they really need him. He's a huge piece, what he brings on both ends of the floor.
And earlier in the season had a hamstring problem. So it's something that's bothered him. Again, not definitive what the situation is. Hopefully it is not significant because obviously OG Anunoby arguably, to this point, has been the Knicks' most valuable player.
Yeah, at the same time.
Or a bona fide third option that they didn't have before to this degree.
No question. We'll see what's going on. But, he's a key piece. Yes, no question. You got to get him back if you want to obviously, continue on and, reach a goal of winning a championship, definitely. I don't know what the injury. He could be back next game. We'll see. But there are other guys who are ready to step up. And this is why Mike Brown has given his whole entire roster an opportunity to get their feet wet in playoff-type situations. If an injury happens, guys are going to be ready to step up when their number's called and perform a role that's going to help this team win basketball games in the playoffs. We hope OG's okay. It didn't look like something that might, he went up for a dunk, probably got fouled on that play, might have gotten blocked, whatever, but he called out of the game, so we'll see how he reacts. He reacts to some treatment.
Now, on the positive side, Mikal Bridges here. Whew. All the criticism, all the struggles in the first round. Again, his last 3 games, he's 26 of 35 shooting. Tonight he was 9 out of 13, 6 assists. And how about his defense?
Yeah.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
They have Hart, Anunoby, and Bridges rotating on Edgecombe and Maxey, and they're doing a great job on defense. Bridges playing a big role.
And I also like Shamet coming in and being introduced into this series because he's a long-rangey defender that causes those guards problems. But you said it, Mikal Bridges, I think, has been the key to the start of this series with his defense on Maxey. He's the perfect guy to bother him with his long arms. And at the point of attack, the way he's fighting over screens, he is desperation level 10 when he's fighting over those picks and the high screen and rolls. And then offensively, with Karl Anthony Towns unlocking OG and Mikal Bridges, you see his finishing and slashing ability. In transition, he's getting a couple dunks. And when you get a couple dunks and layups and you're included in the offense and you get some touches, it's a lot easier to knock down those tough mid-range shots when you get them in the fourth quarter like he got in the fourth quarter. So this has just been quite a performance. I give him a lot of credit, just a true pro. You know, the one game when he didn't score in Atlanta, he didn't let it bother him. He said all the right things, and he came back and used it as fuel and motivation to get better and play better. And he sure has played some of his best basketball of the season.
Give him credit.
I give him a lot of credit.
I mean, I don't know if these guys read the paper. Were you able to toot stuff out when
They're
you played?
Villanova guys. I mean, these guys are team guys through and through.
But to block out.
Remember their motto was attitude? I mean, they walked into their locker room every time. Jay Wright's motto was attitude. Have the right attitude. You could live by that.
What's wrong with my attitude?
Check it. Just check it.
I'm good.
Great attitude.
It's all good. Knicks are up 2-0. What could be wrong? All right, much more to come here. Our extended post-game coverage continues. Mike Brown's reaction coming up. Also much more. Knicks now up 2-0 on the 76ers. All right, that's the scene outside watching the Knicks beat the Sixers tonight, 108-102. Knicks now lead the series 2-0. Alan Hahn is back from across the street. Monica McNutt is still across the street. We say hello to her. She's inside the Garden. Monica, what are you thinking about here as the Knicks go up 2-0?
I was trying to find my stat on the fourth quarter for the Sixers. We know that Jalen Brunson had 8 big points in the fourth quarter, and Karl Anthony Towns had 9 big rebounds in that fourth quarter. I had a stat going into the fourth that Tyrese Maxey was 1 of 4 from the field at one point in the fourth quarter. So obviously those guys struggled. I think, Pidto, honestly, this game played out about as I anticipated outside of the last-minute news in terms of Mitchell Robinson not being available. We knew the Sixers were going to play fast. We know that the Sixers do not have depth. So by the time this game got to the fourth quarter, you saw the Knicks, this time, that veteran poise and the chemistry of having been here before show up in a different way, and they were able to get it done.
Yeah, Monica, that was the part I was going to talk most about because it's the thing I noticed about that game, especially early on with a lot of whistles and a lot of frustration in the arena and a lot of complaining. We have seen this team in past years and in the past get frustrated with officiating. Did not see that in this game. They played through that and just stayed kind of mentally strong throughout. Like I said, I know that's a small thing, but I still think it was a big reason why they were there at the end and was able to put this game away. Don't you think? We've seen this before, right?
I agree with you, Hahn, and I would actually offer, I'm going to just set this down real quick. I'm on TV. Can you not yell? Excuse me. Anyway, that was spree, y'all. I agree with you in that, Alan, but I also think the veterans sort of rubbed off on some of the young guys, if you will. Okay, so your starting center gets into foul trouble, but I thought Ariel Hukporti came in and played with the poise and an energy that sort of rubbed off, right? This one felt like, to a degree, let's just survive the press from the Sixers, and that's what the Knicks were, in fact, able to do down the stretch. I just think having the trust with one another, especially late when you needed to break presses, when you needed to understand that the Sixers were making that last push in terms of intensity, trying to foul, turn you over, being able to be poised, avoid late turnovers, knock down free throws late, and just finish out this ball game, all of that is a testament to this group's experience in this moment.
I agree with you guys. There was tension in the building in the first half.
Yes.
Like the fans were kind of like, whoa, okay, Philly's actually showed up in this one. It's a lot different than game one when it was just the New York Knicks party. Don't you think it was a little bit of feeling out between the fans and also the Knicks in trying to orchestrate how do we attack this team with no Joel Embiid on the floor?
So, Wally, let me spin this back to you because I agree. And I think one of the things, you guys know I love talking with the fans via social media, but a lot of the comments today, especially after the news of Joel Embiid came down, included that the Knicks should take this game easily. And my thing is, and Wally, please speak to this, what is easily in a postseason, right? Like, I think there's so very few teams that really have that head and shoulders talent above, right? I expected the Knicks to win this basketball game, but I don't know what easily is in a postseason. I think the margins of error obviously shrink, and so 2 to 3 possessions, that's a big deal, each possession in a postseason game.
Yeah, and I honestly think that the Sixers are a better team without him because we watched him on the floor, and he is not 100%. He's not moving at all. He can't protect the basket. He can't guard pick and roll. The Knicks put him in actions, and his head was spinning. And then offensively, he can't make a shot unless it's a free throw because he doesn't have his legs. He doesn't have his base. He doesn't have strength in his legs, and his legs are compromised, and they're all banged up. So to me, I really felt like this was going to be a tougher game, and this would be a tougher series, I firmly believe, unless Joel Embiid miraculously gets healthy in one day for the next game to beat the Sixers without him out there on the floor.
All right, Monica, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys.
Nick Nurse, of course, working with a heavy heart. Wasn't with the team yesterday because of the funeral for his brother who unexpectedly passed away last week. Nurse obviously back tonight to coach his team. Here he is now after the game.
I think they got their hands on a couple. We made a couple mistakes on inbounds as well. That is, certainly one negative of the game, and then they turn those into points, pretty good. But, kind of the difference in the game is the turnovers and points off turnovers is one of the differences for sure. Saying that, I thought our guys did a really good job of making the right reads. I thought we passed the ball good. Assist numbers a little down, but it should be up if we would have. I thought we had maybe 4 wide open shots in a row that didn't go. We needed to keep the scoreboard moving, and we played great offense. We just didn't shot make.
You did go to Barlow in the second half. I guess what caused that decision, and what did you just kind of make of his?
Well, there was a number of things. I thought Bono was impacting the game, especially early with the rim protection. He got in foul trouble. They went small, so there was a couple factors that would at least get out there and look at it. We felt we could switch a little bit more too with him. We had a couple breakdowns on some of that stuff, but I thought again, we played good enough defense to win that game, especially in the fourth. But again, hold them to 19 in the fourth. You got to hope you can score more than 20 in a quarter.
The recent Thank You NYPD concert held at Madison Square Garden will become an annual celebration to recognize the New York City Police Department. A check for $500,000 was presented to the New York City Police Foundation to innovate and enhance the quality of NYPD services, build bridges with the community, and make our city a safer place to live, work, and visit. To learn more about the Thank You NYPD initiative launched by MSG Entertainment, visit msg.com/NYPD. All right, braving the elements. Knicks fans loving it. Doesn't matter that it's pouring outside. Guys from the Wally Wall bringing out some key plays coming up. Oh boy. Fans still lingering outside MSG. Knicks beat the Sixers by 6. Now lead the series 2-0. Over now to the Wally Wall with Allen and Wally, guys.
Thank you, Bill. There's a lot that you can break down in this game, and so many different plays and so many different moments, and it really felt like 2 games in one. But let's just go back to the fact that Karl-Anthony Towns, once again, the best player on the floor. The only problem was with the whistles, he couldn't be on the floor a lot. But when he was, Wally, 7 assists, including this great pass.
Yeah, great pass. Mikal Bridges, the benefit of this one. Here's the split action. Good job, Jalen Brunson here. Freeze it. Now, that's just 2 guys, Maxey. They're supposed to switch this. They both end up coming out to Jalen Brunson, and that leaves Mikal Bridges wide open under the basket. Just a great job of when you move your bodies, you get the defense confused. They don't switch. Rookie miscommunication. They're supposed to switch action like that. They're like size. As a result, Bridges wide open dunk. And Karl-Anthony Towns can see over the defense. He loves making passes like that. 7 more assists tonight.
Yeah, what a terrific game he had again, just being able to run the offense. All right, but when you get down to crunch time, what you knew was that Jalen Brunson was going to get shots, Tyrese Maxey was going to get shots, and the question was, who was going to make the big shot that wasn't one of those 2 guys? It's always an other who needs to make one. In this case, Josh Hart.
Yeah, this was a good possession, too. And OG Anunoby just doing a great job of not panicking when the Knicks are fighting the shot clock. This is a high pick and roll that nothing really comes about of it with Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, so they go into the split action. I love this. The Knicks are taking what the defense gives them. OG Anunoby pops out here and freeze it here. Now, there's only 5 on the shot clock, you can see. Anunoby's going to drive into the paint. Keep an eye on Josh Hart. Up top here, That's Deuce. This is Josh Hart in the corner. Oubre's going to dare him to hit this shot. I don't think Oubre needs to come in to help because right now you got two guys on Anunoby. Oubre can come out here and kind of help a little bit. And I don't know why Maxey didn't maybe take this one away too. But Anunoby, quick pass out. Hart loves making these against the shot clock. And he nails the three. And that's a big one. Huge. And he just makes huge ones. Oubre just made a three. Blew the kiss to the bench. Right back at you. Josh Hart ties up the game at 99.
And that started the run for the Knicks that put the game away. Josh Hart had missed his first 4 threes of the game, but shot with confidence in that big moment, what became a big win for the Knicks. Mike Brown's Knicks are up 2-0 now in this series with the Sixers. Here's the Knicks head coach's thoughts, presented by Chase.
It was a playoff basketball game, you know. The game was ugly offensively. Throughout most of the game. You give the Sixers a lot of credit. We knew that they were going to come out. They were going to be more physical. They were going to try to get in the passing lanes and activate the ball a little bit more. So you give them credit. But I also give our guys credit. We talked about defending without fouling at halftime, and we did a better job. They were on track to get 40 free throws. And, we got to try to do something about it because they're killing us from the free throw line through this series. I know it's only 2 games, but they had 34 and 28 tonight. Let's see if I do my math right. That's 30. That's 62. 62. And we had 17 and 25. So that's 42, right? 42 to 62. So I don't know. We have to do something right. We have to. I have to do a better job addressing it. Hopefully, it can get evened out a little bit more throughout the course of the series. But it's tough to win a ball game if you're getting beat from the free throw line like that versus a really good team. So we got to look at every aspect of it. How we're helping on their drives, everything. But that's a big discrepancy. But again, I give our guys credit because in the second half, they were on track for 40. In the second half, they had 8. And that was a big difference in the ball game. On top of that, Cat only playing 8 or 9 minutes in the first half. That's tough as well to try to combat, especially when Mitch was out. I thought also the offensive rebounds. We were really good in the second half. They had 8 offensive rebounds in the first half. They had 3 in the second half, and we had to keep them off the free throw line. We had to keep them from offensive rebounding in order to get this win, because at the end of the day, it came down to who was going to get more stops in that fourth quarter. And, to hold a team like that to 12 points, and they missed some shots, we know that, but have them only score 12 points in that fourth quarter, it's huge. And, they're a turnover team, and part of that is, we only gave up 2 points off our turnovers in the second half. But if there is one player that I want to make sure that I mention, it's Mikal Bridges. You're not stopping Tyrese Maxey. I mean, Tyrese, he had a great game. He had 26 points. But Mikal tried to make him work, especially in the second half, for every point he got. And I think he ended up with 7 in the second half. And, you're going to have to keep working and give multiple efforts, and the team defense behind him is going to have to be great in order to even think you're going to slow him down, because he's a great player. But Mikal did what he could, as well as everybody else behind him. And then on top of that, Mikal hit some big shots for us down the stretch, especially when we looked a little discombobulated offensively. He got to his spot and knocked down some big shots. So great game on both ends of the floor from Mikal.
Mike, OG Anunoby left the game about 2.5 minutes to go. It seemed like his leg was bothering him. What do you know about that?
You know, I haven't talked to anybody that's the same thing. I know he looked like he was hopping, but Derek, have you heard anything? I have not talked to medical yet. Yeah.
Mike, just down the stretch, I think it was tied 99 all, and Jalen, I think, scored 6 of the next 8. Just kind of what you saw him going through tonight, looked like they tried all kinds of things to get it out of his hands. Yeah, so they started switching a little bit, and he got to his spots and scored a bucket, and that's what he's expected to do, for us. And then they started blitzing, and then, he got it out, and other guys made plays. So they're going to blitz, they're going to switch, and we just have to make sure the floor is spaced correctly and we're able to attack versus either scenario. And I thought our guys did a pretty good job of that.
Mike, the way you guys closed in that fourth quarter, you guys were obviously such a good fourth quarter team in the regular season.
Yeah.
But you didn't really have a close win yet this playoffs. You had all the blowout wins. Just, how encouraging was that, or how much did you like the way you guys closed out down the stretch?
Like I said, the shot's not going to always go in, and you got to give Philly's defense some credit. Just like you got to give our defense some credit, but we know we missed some shots that we normally make, and they missed some shots that they normally make. So, it's about trying to figure out a way to get a stop. That's what you can control more than the ball going in, and I thought our guys did a decent job of that as we were going down the stretch without fouling.
All right, when we come back, more on the all-around performance by Karl Anthony Towns, making the most of his playing time. We'll detail it coming up.
Hart picked it up. He'll go coast to coast. Alley-oop to Bridges, and we're tied at 54.
That's twice now. 2 dunks have set this place on fire.
All right, energizing plays presented by C4 Energy. That was Tyler Murray and Monica McNutt with this call on the radio on ESPN New York. And we talked about Mikal Bridges before you came over from across the street. He's just been fantastic.
This is a great series for him because of the matchup. That's what you really wanted to see, is who was going to take on Tyrese Maxey, who is an absolute blur, who's going to run through so many different screens. It's frustrating to guard somebody like him because he's herky-jerky as well as fast. He stops on a dime. Every time he does the crossover, the step back's coming. Yeah. There was one time it looked like he was setting up for it. Then he passed it, which was a surprise. But it also kind of showed you, was he getting fatigued? Because he played he's played a ton of minutes in the first series against Boston. In this game, he played almost the entire game.
I think he played the entire second half.
40. Yes, he did. He came out in the second quarter for like maybe 2 minutes, and that's about it. So for Bridges, you have to tip your cap because he knows the assignment. Mm-hmm. It's only his assignment, and he's taking it on. And that's a lot of minutes to guard somebody who's as good as he is, and he still has him off balance. And that's one. To me, the other part of it is, I talked to Monica about it. Guys, I'm telling you, the mental toughness while you were in the building, you talked about the tense. It was so tense in the building. And we've seen in the past Knick teams get caught up in that and caught up in the whistles, early whistles that got foul trouble for Towns, the frustration, the groaning, the moaning, all that stuff. I was watching players to see if it was going to become a problem, if you'd start seeing complaining. Nothing. Mike Brown didn't challenge one of them.
No.
He had every right to challenge some of them.
Yeah.
No, play through it. And it was something they had been fighting all year, that he has talked to them a lot about not talking to the officials. Play through it. Whatever's being called, play through it. And that mental toughness, I think, really was on display in that first half because it took the Knicks out of what they wanted to do. They had to play a different way, and they still found a way to win the game.
Guys, Sixers fourth quarter, 4 of 19 shooting.
Yeah.
1 of 10 from downtown.
Because it's the heavy dose of minutes that these guys had to play. Paul George played 43 minutes in this game.
Yeah, and he's up there in age.
Oubre's almost at 40 minutes in
Maxey,
this game. Edgecombe at 40 minutes.
47 minutes for Maxey. 46-48. That's a lot of minutes. And you're right. In the fourth quarter, when that defense ratchets up, your legs are a little tight and tired, and you're pressing so hard defensively because you have to work to stop the Knicks defensively. So that wears down your legs on the offensive end of the floor. When those threes came, They missed a couple open ones, and I give the Knicks credit, though. Their desperation on defense was a reason why some of those were misses.
You know what? That's a great point. It shows you another level of what they've learned. As they talked about after the big game 1 win, and Josh Hart said it like it doesn't mean anything. It's the next game that matters. And Deuce McBride said, we've been through this before. I told you guys the stat of the night was the Knicks have won game 1 5 times. 3 times they lose game 2 because that's just who they've been. This was a game that felt like it was set up for it. No Embiid. You get the whistles early. It was setting up for the Knicks to have a letdown loss, and that didn't happen.
It's huge.
It says a lot about how far this team has come.
Yep. They came through in the clutch. They came through when it mattered most. That is for sure. This reminder, you can stream Knicks pre- and post-game coverage during the playoffs, plus hours of on-demand content anywhere you go. Download the Gotham Sports App. It's free with your MSG TV subscription. Sign in and start streaming today. We're back for tonight's thrilling moment, brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on, guys. Up 2, 3:46 to go. Jalen Brunson Allen puts the Knicks up by 4.
Yeah, he just went into his bag. That's what Captain Clutch does. That's a big shot there with the shot clock running down and a tall defender on him. But that's Jalen Brunson at his best, and they needed him tonight in that moment.
He was huge down the stretch, along with their defense. That was big. And 2-0 lead is nice, but it's not going to be easy down in Philly. They're going to be ready.
Game 3 is Friday night. Back now here from the Corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Post-game reaction now in the Knicks locker room, beginning with Josh Hart.
Josh, so the team outscored the Sixers 19-12 in the fourth quarter. What changed defensively?
I think our intensity picked up. Attention to detail picked up. Kel did a great job that second half on Maxey. Deuce came in, gave good minutes. So we were flying around. We're happy with it.
When it was announced that Joel Embiid was out, how much did the game plan change, or not at all?
No, obviously it changes because obviously you're game planning for someone like that, of his caliber. And then when he goes out, you knew, that's just more opportunity for other guys to step, other guys to get shots, get minutes, stuff like that. So you knew they were going to come out with unbelievable sense of urgency. Obviously, also, losing game 1. So, they played great. Luckily, we were able to, get enough stops down the stretch to, get a win.
Josh, winning any playoff game is not easy. How did you guys finish it off in the fourth, in your opinion?
I think we were just focused on getting stops. Getting stops. And, when you got guys like JB, Cat, obviously Kel hit big shots in that fourth. You got guys like that, offensively, they're going to be able to, get to their spots and they're going to knock down shots. So it was just like, let's go out there, get stops, and finish with rebounds.
Josh, they're making a concerted effort to try to get Cat and Huck in foul trouble. What are you seeing in terms of what they're doing, and how can you guys, keep them from getting in foul trouble like that?
What do you mean, how can we keep, at a certain point, Cat got to make sure he's disciplined on, some of these drives of showing his hands and doing those kind of things. That's nothing that we can do in terms of game plan kind of thing. So obviously he has to do that, and but that's all of us. Obviously he had some fouls, but I had fouls. I think OG had fouls. Hakaputi had fouls. Everyone had fouls, bro. So we all got to be have a better attention to detail on keeping them off the free throw line.
Mikal, what was the game plan against Tyrese Maxey tonight? Because you guys did a really good job. Obviously, you're not going to hold him down, but what did you guys do to contain him?
Just try to make it tough on him. You know how great Tyrese is, his ability to score and be a threat all 3 levels, and be able to pass too. So just try to make it difficult on him.
It's a very choppy game, a lot of whistles. How hard is it to kind of find a rhythm in a game like this?
It's tough, but we just got to be better, especially us. Fouling. I think just on all of us got to be better about fouling, but yeah.
When it was announced that Joel was out, how much did that affect your game plan?
Obviously, scouting-wise, how their offense is was a little different, but, knowing what they're going to do and, they going to get out and means more opportunities for guys like Maxey and Paul. And VJ and, everybody, Kelly, everybody. So we just got to be locked in even more and just stay with it.
Nick
mentioned, I know we asked you about Maxey, but just kind of the team defense in general in the fourth, just holding them to 12 points. What was working so well?
Yeah, I think everybody's being on the string. Everybody being aggressive and stepping up for one another.
You guys had the game on a 13-3 run. What was the key down the stretch there, or the conversation in that final timeout to close things out?
Just get stops. The time is on our side right now, and being up 4 points, 6 points, and just getting stops is all that matter.
Mikal, Knick fans are going to show up in Philly. What's the mindset going down to Philly up 2-0?
Just play desperate, and be even better than what we did today. We just got to keep being better and, not worry that we're up 2-0, just it's 0-0 and go out there and play.
All right, around the corner, some post-game reaction from Jalen Brunson, who had 26 points and was captain clutch yet again as the Knicks beat the Sixers by 6. All right, we're back. So the Knicks go 2-0 here in the first two games in New York. Games 3 and 4 in Philly. Friday at the Sixers, 6:30 pregame here, and then Mother's Day will be on there at 3. An extensive and extended postgame coverage after each game the Knicks play in the postseason. Knicks and I won 5-0 in the playoffs for the first time since 1999.
This is quite a run that they're on right now. And again, most of these wins have been fairly easy and very entertaining, and no one's playing in the fourth quarter. This was the first grinder they've had now in the playoffs. And what was good to see, I think, is the fact that they were able to win this game, pull this win out at home, and making clutch baskets and getting through a lot of very difficult officiating.
Yeah, it was a workmanlike win, no question. You kind of figured the other team is also trying to win. Philadelphia was going to come with their best punch. They needed to in this game, and they're going to come with even more, I think, in the first game down there in Philadelphia. So the Knicks have to be ready for Philly to make some adjustments and continue to come at them. But the Knicks are the better team. They were all season long. The Knicks, are personnel-wise, they have a great bench. They have guys that they can mix and match, and I think Mike Brown's doing a great job of pushing the right buttons. I think a big move was getting Shamet back in the lineup. Get his feet wet, get him comfortable, because he's a good matchup against those guards like Grimes, like Edgecombe, like Maxey. He can guard all those guys, and he's going to knock down some shots, too. With his length and size, he bothers those guards a little more than Deuce and Alvarado do.
Think about it. Mike Brown played twice as many bench players as Nick Nurse did. Nick Nurse went 3 deep, and that's it. Mike Brown played 6 guys off the bench and found minutes for everybody, and he just needed them. And, even if it's Jeremy Sohan for just a minute, but just needed you out there and get out there and give you something. And I think that's another part that to watch in this series as it goes on. There's only one day off in between every game.
Exactly.
And for the Sixers, when you're carrying heavy minutes with that starting 5, you wonder if the war of attrition will start to take effect.
Exactly.
Mitchell Robinson out under the weather, didn't play. And Ariel Hukporti called into action in the last game because of foul trouble. Played a lot of minutes, got into some foul trouble. But he was
used his fouls, Alan.
I
You love that.
Foul trouble. I call it using your foul.
But he was making he's making a contribution. My point is he's making a contribution.
He was trying.
Some of them were a little frustrated. Though. Too much air in the whistle. This ain't January.
Knicks win it by 6. Back after this. Knicks beat the Sixers. Jalen Brunson ate up his 26 in the fourth quarter, including 6 in crunch time. Here he is now after the game.
Just what was working so well defensively down the stretch as you guys held them down in the fourth quarter?
I think we made things difficult. I also think they missed some good looks, so got away with a couple. But we strung some stops together down the stretch when we needed to, and created like a 5-6 point cushion, and then just kind of kept that.
Jalen, for Mikal, this is now 3 straight games where he's just made shot after shot. What do you feel like is going for him as well as it is? And on the other end, what do you feel like is working so well with the way that he's defended Maxey?
Offensively, it's a make or miss league, and obviously there's times the ball's going in, times where there's not. And but I think for him, what's been the most consistent is him and his routine every day, doing the things he has to do to make sure he's ready to go. And so when the ball does go in, it's not a surprise. He works at it. That's what he does. And I'm no surprise there when he's doing that. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I think he's just making things tough. I also think Tyrese is generating some good looks for himself and for others. But we're just trying to make it as tough as possible, because obviously the things that he can do is pretty spectacular.
different kind of game than you guys had the last few games. What were you thinking going into the last 8 minutes or so, and what do you think about the way you guys handled overall the situation?
Most importantly, just staying poised, staying composed, just figuring out just one play at a time, one step at a time, and not looking too far ahead. And when they make it faster, when they go up one or we take the lead back, just focusing and paying attention to the details, and just find a way how to just make the next play on the other side of the ball.
They got it done tonight. Knicks up 2 games to none as they win over the Sixers, 108-102. So the Knicks take a 2 games to none lead on Philadelphia, winning tonight 108-102. Game 3 Friday night with the series shifting to Philadelphia. We'll see you for our pregame show at 6:30. You can watch here on MSG or stream our coverage on the Gotham Sports App. A little issue there with the ball getting stuck, but they worked that out, and the Knicks prevail, beating the Sixers down the stretch to win the contest by the final count of 108-102. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you on Friday. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.